He presided over what's widely considered the greatest period of economic reform in Australian history. The irony is it took an ex-union boss to lead the change. As Prime Minister, Bob Hawke used the formidable negotiating and deal-making skills he honed at the Australian Council of Trade Unions to launch an economic transformation.
I want to assure you,
he convened an economic summit weeks after taking office, involving companies, unions, church leaders and all levels of government.
Then these past 4 days will indeed prove to be a turning point in the conduct and in the character of the affairs and the concerns of this great nation of ours.
A damaging spiral of price rises and wage rises dogged the nation in the 1970s and early 80s.
All in favour of the motion, please raise your right hand.
Hawke brokered a prices and incomes accord, the first of many, under which unions agreed to reduce wages and strikes in return for social benefits, such as spending on health and education.
When the phone started ringing in dealing rooms this morning, trading was frenetic.
In its first year, the Hawke government took the radical step of floating the Australian dollar, against the advice of Treasury boss John Stone.
He said to me as he came past, he said, "Prime Minister, you'll live to regret this decision."
History is with Hawke. Letting the market shift the currency up and down has helped the economy withstand economic shocks. His government deregulated the financial system and introduced competition from foreign banks. The Commonwealth Bank and airlines were privatised at a time when public ownership was still a Labor movement article of faith.
I can't see any social democratic principle that's involved in government running an airline.
His government gave the Reserve Bank power to set the official interest rate free from government interference, a reform still in place today. It wasn't all plain sailing. Banks collapsed during the excesses of the 80s, and by the early 90s.
The first thing to say is that the accounts do show that Australia is in a recession. The most important thing about that is that this is a recession that Australia had to have.
Australia faced the worst downturn since the Great Depression. But there hasn't been another since, partly because of changes Bob Hawke and his Treasurer Paul Keating put in place. Keating is often given much of the credit for the economic reforms, but could he have achieved his vision without Hawke's ability to bring the Labor movement along?